So, hello everyone. I'm Suguna, Assistant Professor from Department of Computer Science and Engineering in SNS College of Technology. In this video, we are going to learn about an important concept in full stack development. Nothing but it's query language. It's a specifically SQL, which is structured query language. This is the language we use to communicate with the database. So, let me start with a simple story. Imagine you have a huge database which is containing the student record, marks, attendance, and their fees particulars. But you don't know how to ask question to the database. So how will you find a specific information? So that's where SQL comes in. It helps us to talk to the database and get exactly what we need. So let me start with a simple problem statement. Now you just consider a real scenario in the college system. We may need to find students scoring above 80 percentage, and we need to update the student email, phone number, address. We need to delete the inactive records, and we have to generate the reports in department wise or class wise. So without query language, all this becomes very difficult or it's highly impossible. So the question is, how do we interact efficiently with the database? So let empathize something. So we had empathized with some specific persons called Rahul, a junior database administrator. He handles a large student work, large student data, and he had a very pressure time to find and to retrieve the required student data from the huge student database, and they need the accurate reports. He requires so for this issue he needs very simple queries, fast data retrieval, and safe data handling. So we need a powerful and easy query system. So the main core challenge is in this problem statements are how to retrieve the specific data very quickly, how to update the record safety, how to delete the record without any errors, and how to generate the reports in an efficient manner. So the only one solution is by using structured query language SQL. So SQL, this provides a standard way to interact with the database. So let's look at for the possible solution. We can use queries to retrieve the data, and we can apply condition for filtering. We can use grouping for generating the reports from the database, and we can use joins in order to combine the tables which are present on the student database. So the final solution is we can go for SQL commands, which can be categorized into DDL, data definition language, for creating the table, data manipulation language for insertion, updation, and deletion, and data query language for retrieving the data. And here it's the proper workflow of how the MongoSQL works step by step. So we need to create a database structure, and we need to insert the data. Then we can retrieve the data if we need, or if we can update the data, and also we can delete the data. So here the when it displays that when you provide any query to the database, the query gets executed, the process can happen, and it produces the required result. So after getting the required result, we can also validate them. This forms the complete workflow of the data interaction. Next is the date prototype. So let's look at into a simple example. We created a table called student with field ID, name, mark, department. Then we insert data into the table. This is how we store structured data using the SQL. And now let's just retrieve the data. To get all the record, we can use select star operation. To filter, we can use students with marks above 80. We can use where clause. And to calculate the average mark, we can use average function, AVG function. To count student department wise, we can use group Y function. These queries helps us to analyze and extract meaningful information from the student database. So this is what the outcome. So by using the SQL, we have retrieved the data in very fast manner. The reports produced by these databases are very accurate, and the data manipulation is very high. So the SQL makes the database interaction efficient and powerful. Next comes the testing phase. Let's check if our system works correctly. So when we insert a query, that has data had to be added to the database. If we select a query, correct data has to be retrieved. If we want to update the query, the values has to be modified in a correct way. If we want to delete a query, that record has to be automatically removed from the database. See, all these operations I am talking are related to SQL. So this is the structured query language. So on the upcoming video, we will move on to MongoDB and we will see what is the main difference between SQL and MongoDB and what is the advantages of using SQL and disadvantages. Why we need to move from normal structured query language to MongoDB. MongoDB is the no structure query language. It's the no SQL concept. And here are some applications. So it's mainly used in college management system, hospital database, e-commerce platform and banking system. Anywhere, so wherever the data is stored, so the SQL MongoDB are very much used to manage the data. So let's summarize. So here I had taught about the SQL. On the upcoming video, I clearly mentioned you about the difference between SQL and MongoDB and why we are moving from SQL to MongoDB. So it helps to communicate with the database. So it has a proper structure and it modifies the data and it retrieves the data in an efficient way. So activity, you just divide it into team and design a small database. Either it can be a library system or a hospital system. And you just find out some queries for inserting, retrieving, deleting and updating the values on the database. So this provides you some hands-on experience. So to conclude, any SQL or no SQL is a fundamental skill for every developer. It helps in managing and analyzing the data in an efficient way. So thank you all for watching my video. Thank you.